Welcome back to the graveyard, everybody. My name is Mads, and this is going to be a very laid-back and chill video, as I'm sure you can already tell by looking at me. I just want to explain where I've been because it's been a little bit longer than usual since my last video, and where I'm going moving forward. So, there's a couple reasons why I disappeared. One is that, as usual, my next video is going to be a deep dive, and those deep dives take a very long time to do. If you're not a huge channel that has like a research team and stuff, putting this stuff together and not rushing it does take quite a while. And it's funny because my next subject was going to be the store Hot Topic, and right as I was starting to film that video, that subject popped off, and suddenly everyone on TikTok was talking about Hot Topic and doing micro history videos on them and stuff, and I was like, this could be good or bad. It could be good because it's a hot topic right now, which means people are actually going to be interested in watching it. But because other people are also doing videos where they go over the history, not so much like deep dives into controversies, they kind of mention them in passing in their videos, but don't go super far into it. But even still, I'm like, I don't want anyone to be like, oh, this person is obviously just like piggybacking off of them or copying them, because there's only so many ways you can uniquely do a video like that. And I had already finished filming. I was just working on some audio issues because, of course, I filmed for over an hour and my microphone decided to just not work the entire time. But I'm probably still going to release it anyway. I'm just editing it right now. And, you know, this is the thing, when you're creating online content, especially something topical, somebody's always going to find issue with it. Someone's always going to be like, oh, this random creator there's no way you've ever watched before in your life did a video similar to this like 6 months ago, so you must be copying them, especially when it's something really niche like the goth and alternative subculture. There's some of us that have a decent following on this app, but let's face it, we're never going to be as big as the normie crowd. Like, it's going to be a miracle if any fully goth content creator hits like 1 million subs one day and stuff, at least in the near future, because we are very niche. And one of the struggles of being in a group online that is very niche is, like what I just said, you're going to have overlapping topics, especially if you're the same or similar age as someone else in the community, because a lot of us went through similar stuff. A lot of us will have bullying stories. A lot of us will have how I became a baby bat stories. A lot of us like things like stories about ghosts experiences that we had and stuff. A lot of us like to talk about horror movies. A lot of us talk about things like Columbine and some of the tragedies that have happened throughout our lifetime that we were blamed for unfairly because of the fact that we looked a little bit different and people didn't understand what that meant. And unfortunately, I have seen this happen in our community, that, you know, it's the snake that eats itself. We all want to be accepted. We all want to be treated as well as people who are not goth on the app are treated, but we don't treat each other very well now, do we? How many times have you seen goth people jumping down each other's throats in comment sections because somebody says something innocent like, yes, goth is a music-based subculture, but there's also an aesthetic to it, and they're just like, no, it's only music-based. You could be wearing like a t-shirt and jeans and still be goth if you're listening to goth music and it's your favorite thing ever, and instead of just being like, oh, I see where you're coming from, but I think that it doesn't necessarily have to follow a certain aesthetic. That you can simply say something like that. No, instead it's always an absolute freak out about it, and things like, oh, this person is talking about their first time in a goth club and what that was like. And then someone else happens to do a story of the same nature. And everyone's just like, you copied so-and-so. Oh my God, get an original thought, get an original video idea already. I can't believe you're just piggybacking off of them because they're bigger. And it's like, I hate to break it to you guys, especially people who consume YouTube but don't make content on here. 9 times out of 10, unless it's something like a live stream or someone's immediate thoughts about something that's going on in the world, we usually film our videos anywhere from like a week to a month before they're released, especially if we're editing them ourselves, because editing takes a while. So they're not piggybacking. It's just a coincidence that two people in a very niche subculture online happen to think about the same topic and release videos at the same time. It's just like when people get all freaked out over Hollywood. They're like, this movie released about vampires, and now this one did. They're copying it. They're just doing it because they know it's going to make them money right now. And it's like, no one in Hollywood saw that a movie did well and somehow in like a month punched out a movie and released it. That simply cannot happen. Not unless it's one of those like shitty Tubi horror movies or something. And I wish people understood how much time it actually takes to create videos on here, even little simple sit-downs like this. This is much less labor-intensive than my usual content. It will still take a while to post, so I still have to work on the audio cleanup. I still have to work on the video cleanup and making sure that, like, you can see me well. I have to make sure that it's well edited so that if I paused or lost my train of thought, you don't see that and have to sit through it for 5 minutes. But I digress. That's something I think that's been in my head for a while, and I just needed to get out of my system because it chases good goth content creators off of this app, and it's really unfortunate because we're simply gonna have overlapping videos sometimes. It's just gonna happen, and people do need to get over. The other reason I haven't been around and I haven't been able to finish editing the Hot Topic video yet is because last month I was in another state with family and friends, and my best friend who came all the way from the UK to see me. We hadn't gotten to see each other in 8 years. 8 years. We've always talked. We try to talk to each other every single day. I love the fact that I'm alive in the digital age, so that if you have a friend that's international, you don't just wonder if they're alive or not until you get like a letter or something. Like, I know how he's doing, but it's still exciting to physically be in the vicinity of that person again. And the reason he'd come that far is I was having the first of 2 wedding celebrations. I had one in one state with my family because I have aging family members who are going to have great difficulty getting to the state that I currently reside in, and I didn't want them to feel like they were missing out. And then sometime next year, I believe, I'm going to have one in this state for my wife's family members to attend, because she also has aging family members and it's hard for them to go anywhere else. And it wasn't like a huge deal or anything. It was just like a little tent was set up. We had basically a karaoke machine playing music. It was very chill, and that's exactly how I wanted it. It was basically everything I could have dreamed of. And afterwards, I got to spend the better part of a week just hanging out and catching up with my best friend, who my wife had never gotten to meet until now. They hit it off. She became best friends with his partner, basically, which was awesome because we were like, I wonder how they're going to get on. And then yesterday, as of filming this video, is when we actually filled out the marriage license. So we're official now. We wanted to get the license between the 2 weddings because you don't want, Auntie so-and-so to get all offended and be like, oh, you could get the license for that wedding, but not this one. You care more about those people. You never know how people are going to take that stuff. So doing it in between the 2 celebrations seemed like a good idea. But yeah, that's what's been happening. I'm still working on the Hot Topic video right now. I'm still excited to get it out. But in the meantime, another idea I had for supplementary videos in between the long deep dives, since those can take a month or more to get done, are something I was going to call Spooky Sleepover. And Spooky Sleepover would be videos where I would get on camera in my pajamas, in my bed, and I would tell you a spooky story I know, whether it is a haunting that I've experienced, or maybe just a creepy story about like a haunted house I know or something. Just something fun like that you would tell at a sleepover. And I think that would be a nice chill video to do in between the deep dives so I don't just vanish off the face of the app for a while. But yeah, that's my catch up. Hope you were really somewhat entertained, and I'll see you in the next video.